All right, so today's question is, how can we trust in God's plan even when circumstances seem uncertain and dangerous? So we're in Exodus 2, and this is where God's rescue plan starts taking shape. Moses is born, and even through Pharaoh's trying to kill the future, God's got a bigger plan in motion. In verses 1 through 10, we see the birth of Moses. First off, a man and woman from the tribe of Levi, good folks, they get married, and they have a baby boy. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She saw that he was a special kind of baby, and she kept him hidden for 3 months. But y'all know, you can't hide a baby forever. So what's mama do? She builds a little basket, covers it with tar to make it waterproof, and floats Moses just right on down the Nile River. She's praying and trusting God. When you can't protect your future, you put it in God's hands. And look at God's providence. Pharaoh's own daughter finds the baby. She feels sorry for him. Moses' own mama gets hired to nurse him. Ain't that like God? Then Moses gets raised as royalty. The princess named him Moses, for she explained, I lifted him out of the water. God put Moses right in the enemy's house to train him for leadership. In verses 11 through 15, we see Moses make a big mistake. So we fast forward, Moses grows up. One day he sees an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. His blood boils and Moses acts out. After looking in all directions to make sure no one's watching, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid the body in the sand. Listen, Moses had the right passion but the wrong plan. The next day he tries to break up two Hebrews who are fighting. But one of them snaps back. He says, who appointed you to be our prince and judge? So word gets out. Pharaoh finds out and tries to kill Moses. So Moses, he runs for his life to the land of Midian. Sometimes God's got to strip you down and hide you away before he can build you up and send you back. In verses 16 through 22, we see Moses' new life in Midian. So Moses ends up sitting by a well. There's 7 daughters of a Midianite priest that come by. And Moses, he's just being a gentleman. He helps them water their flock. Their daddy, Reuel, also called Jethro, he invites Moses to dinner. Pretty soon, Moses marries one of his daughters, Zipporah, and they have a son named Gershom. Moses names him that because he says, I have been a foreigner in a foreign land. So Moses' heart is heavy. He's feeling like a man without a home, but little does he know, God's just getting started with him. In verses 23 through 25, God remembers his promise. Meanwhile, back in Egypt, the Israelites continued to groan under their burden of slavery. They cried out for help, and their cry rose up to God. And it says, and hear this loud and clear. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He looked down on them, the people of Israel, and he knew it was time to act. God never forgets his promises. You might feel forgotten, but you ain't. When the time is right, God moves mountains. So what's Exodus chapter 2 teaching us? God protects and positions his people even when it looks hopeless. Right passion must wait for God's right timing. And failure ain't final. It's part of God's preparation. When God's people cry out, he listens and he acts. Listen, you might feel like you're stuck in a desert season right now, like Moses out there herding sheep instead of leading people. But don't quit. God's work in your heart is just as important as his work through your hands. When the time is right, he'll call you up and he'll send you out. So keep reading your Bible and don't be done.